So sorry, guys. That was my fault. Uh, I'll go through the whole thing I said there. You'd figure I would have this all sorted out by the New Year's. Perhaps it's because I was up so late last night. But as Sue Ann said, prayers for Nola. That just a crazy thing that happened there last night, and there are no words that I'm going to have that are going to do that justice. But prayers for all impacted by that kind of tragedy. It's an area we're all so familiar with down there at Canal and Bourbon. If you've been to New Orleans, you know exactly where that is. So just to move on from that, because I'm not good at speaking to these kind of tragic events, I will move along here and show you that Gina camera. And yes, it's looking beautiful out there. We have clear skies, gorgeous weather, cool temperatures. Throw out a plug to Louisiana Fireplace, because we have a fire going this morning that's entirely senseless. Nobody should have a fire. You don't have to do that this morning. You'll be just fine in your home. But a fire is so nice to have, and they made it so easy for us to have one because they put that little gas line in there. Very easy to get it started. Don't need the lighter pine anymore, and I love that. All right, here's Alexandria. Looks like a quiet start to the new year here. Nothing going on out there. Everybody still tucked up in bed, I think. So here's what we have. Yes, good to hear me. I'm so sorry I had that off. I went through the whole thing there for like 45 seconds. I was talking, looked down, saw no audio level going, and you know how that works. That's not good. In fact, I'm going to actually crank the audio a little bit more. It's been a little weird lately. And that's how we go. All right, that should be even a little better. I think it probably got a little louder for you. Okay, so radar showing not much going on across our area. We go to the big picture. We have big snows up north, big snows, lake effect snows going into New York, into Michigan, and then some mountain snows out here in the west, out toward Jackson Hole and maybe Breckenridge, seeing some snow as well. I usually would follow that with saying no snow locally, but hey, I mean, we actually have a non-zero chance to see something wintry, and it's within like 8 days, so it's something we'll talk a little bit about. And yes, I'm doing my best to make it snow. If you read that crawl on the bottom, I have little input. It's going to surprise you to know that, I'm sure. Okay, so yes, sound is there now. So yeah, we got that fixed. I guess someone just tuned in. Upper 40s to mid 50s across the state this morning, this mid to late morning here. Temperature change. Yeah, it's gotten a lot cooler. We had that cold front that was actually right around here, so it's a little bit cooler to the west, a lot cooler out east relative to 24 hours ago, because they had not seen this cold front at all yet. So 17 degrees cooler in Baton Rouge, about 8 degrees cooler here in Alexandria with northeasterly winds today. That's going to be flowing in, and that is going to bring us probably some lows in the mid-30s, maybe upper 30s tonight. I think we stay above freezing for most, but maybe a little light frost out there. Light winds at about 5 to 7 overnight for today. today, clear skies, low to mid 50s. I'll breeze on through the easy stuff because now we're getting into the wild and woolly weather that's coming over the next week. Let's go ahead and put it in motion here. We get those thunderstorms in on Sunday. Now we actually have a risk for some severe weather. We'll be talking about that in a second. Looks like some big snows and ice, big travel problems. If you're heading north on Sunday, even probably as early as late Saturday in parts of the country, there's going to be a stripe of heavy snow. There's going to be a lot of ice up there as well. There's going to be severe weather extending down to the southwest. And then behind this system, I'm not going to keep this model going forward because it shows some things that are pretty crazy. But you can get the idea here that cold air is going to be burrowed down into Texas, got some snow falling possibly as far down south as Midland, San Angelo, and those areas of West Texas. And then we'll see what happens when this shoots to the east, because while the operational models, and I talk about that, that's the one you see if you go look at a model site, while they're looking pretty bullish for something wintry down here, the ensembles have backed off a little bit, and that's what I really focus on. So it's still, by all means, a possibility. And seeing operational runs showing this a week out, hey, I mean, it's a definite possibility, a definite maybe. How's that for you? But we don't have a lot of snow cover to the north, and I'm going to tie this all together in a second here. We have some snow along the Canadian border, as pretty typical for this time of year. Also had some snow fill in here across Iowa. I always confuse those two. Iowa, there's Ohio over here, and then Nebraska and South Dakota. So we're building it up a little bit, and then what we're going to see here over the next few days, if I just show you the forecast, this is the model forecast, you can see here more snow falling across Iowa. Then it looks like we start to thicken up that snowpack in Kansas and Missouri. Now for a crazy for a crazy cold event, I'd like to see that snowpack down into Arkansas and all that for us, but we don't want it to be too crazy. So if we can get a snowpack down to, say, St. Louis, over to Lexington, back to Kansas City, Goodland, that area, well, that's going to be enough, I think, to keep that cold air really stout as it comes to the south, and that's going to help cool things off. And I'll show you this. I'll even highlight, that was the GFS, this also the GFS, so we're going to go through the temperatures on this. So you kind of cycle through day after day, and then you get that cold purple air mass up here. It's not actually going to be purple, but it's going to be really cold, and that's how we show it. And you can see toward the end of this, you see how that area just stays really ridiculously cold? That's where the fresh snowpack is, and that's where we get that radiational cooling, and that is very evident here. So that cold air is going to be magnified over that snowpack, and if you get a northerly flow over that very cold stuff there, well, it means it's going to be cold down here as well. Now, what does this all mean for wintry precipitation? Right now, there are solutions that keep the wintry stuff further south than us, down along I-10. There are wintry solutions that keep this well north. There are wintry solutions that keep it dry. So I'm gonna be watching this carefully. I am kind of honing in on an idea of what I think is going to happen, but right now that it's not a high enough confidence to really talk about. But I think we're going to see something. We're going to at least see a close call. I will say that. But we shall see. We first have to get through Sunday with a severe threat. Doesn't look off the charts here. I think moisture return is going to be a little I guess a little thin here. We had dew points in the 70s out of that last system that was just dropping tornadoes all over the place. I think low to mid 60s out of this one. So limited instability. Yes, the wind shear is going to be decent. It's possible we see a few severe storms in the area, and I'm going to be watching closely. It looks like about a half an inch to an inch of rain, so it's not going to be over the top on that. And then we shift into the cold stuff, and you can see this finally sneaking in on the 7-day. We have a good chance for those rain and storms on Sunday. 50 degrees on Monday. There's your cold front. 45 over 29 on Tuesday, and then we continue to get cooler from there. And then the question is, do we see something wintry? It would probably be like around Wednesday or Thursday if we did. So we're looking at that time frame. It's still way too early to call. Certainly way too early to talk about amounts, but it is going to be very cold. That's the first ingredient we need in place, is that deep cold air. We've got that completely right on through the middle of the month, and it looks like there's going to be at least a chance or two for some precipitation out of this, but it does not look like we're going to see, you can see here with the below normal thing centered right just to our north with that high pressure that's going to be centered up here. Again, possibly this shunts the moisture further south, keeps things very cold locally, but it's possible we are seeing some of those runs that flash me back to that Christmas of 2004 storm where we had snow along the coast down toward Corpus Christi, but we were too far north up here. So all solutions on the table. Obviously, I don't know what's going to happen yet, but I do at least think we will have a close call. I would love it if we saw a little bit of something. 70 sounds good to you? No snow or ice? I don't want any damage or anything. I never want that, but I'm here to talk about whatever weather comes on through. But yeah, I'm thinking we get cold. I know we get cold, and then we'll see what happens on that wintry stuff. We'll be talking about it though. All right, Happy New Year, y'all. I am out of here for today. I'll be back tomorrow. If you missed it in the beginning, I ran the little pre-roll there, and then I had no audio going, but we welcomed a new sponsor in today, the Alexandria Emergency Hospital, and we're also going to have another one coming on here very soon, and I'll tell you what that is once everything's official and all that good stuff. But so a good way to celebrate the new year, bringing a new sponsor into the fold, someone who is going to be all over our severe weather stuff. They wanted to sponsor that end of things, and I think that's a great idea. So again, this stuff isn't free, so it's always helpful to get someone to come along and support us however possible, and very exciting to have them on board. We'll be talking more about that in the coming days. But I am out of time here. Actually, I could talk forever because I have no time, but I smell the biscuits cooking, so I'm going to go get me some of that. Happy New Year. I'll see y'all here tomorrow.